In the previous video, we did the operation of the gun pressure macro. If you did not do it, please go back to the previous video, otherwise you will not be able to perform the subsequent operations. First, open PubGen Base Configure Resolution to find the configuration file for your phone's resolution. Don't make a mistake, otherwise debugging will not work. Okay, you will see the basic configuration content. This video will adapt the first two steps. Remember that any changes need to be saved after Ctrl-F and reload the TCG button to take effect. Ctrl-F5. Follow my instructions and turn on the in-game sensitivity. If you're using firing sensitivity, follow the instructions below. Fill in the sensitivity value in the file, like this. If you modify it later, you'll also need to update the value in the text here. The reason is simple: to maintain the consistency of the final data, here, for the convenience of debugging, we first adapt the firearm. Here we adapt an M4. You just need to follow my operation, and then I will explain how to adapt. Now let's start with the basics. First, we'll adjust the zoom and hipfire settings. If you haven't set the button size to 200%, please do so before taking a screenshot. Here we need to cut out only the features as much as possible. To avoid too many interfering elements in the background, the save name needs to be the same as in the configuration. Next, trim the image to reduce other interfering pixels. Here comes the point. In order to increase efficiency, we use interval search. So we also need to use the region acquisition tool of the macro tool to capture the region. If you are not using 1080p resolution, you need to detect the region every time and update the region to the resolution configuration file. Next, adapt the selection and identification of guns. Because there are two guns on the left and right, we need to identify which one is currently selected. Here, we use the macro area tool to update the obtained area to the configuration. Adapt to the firearm identification area to distinguish the specific models of the left and right firearms. For scope adaptation, please remember to enlarge the size of this button to 150% or higher, because the text of this button is too small and may be misidentified. When we need to adjust after we have taken the screenshot, we can open the folder, right-click the picture, and select the drawing tool to edit it and cut out the interfering background. If the image recognition is unstable or wrong, we need to adjust the similarity to determine whether the recognition is unstable or wrong. The green box will show the recognition content. There are 3 specific tuning methods. The first one is that if A is identified as B, then the similarity of B is slightly increased until it is not misidentified. The second is to reduce the similarity of A if A is sometimes recognized. The third method, if the above 2 methods cannot solve the problem, then take a new screenshot and then use the drawing tool to adjust the image or enlarge the button size and take a new screenshot. The above 3 methods are applicable to any image recognition debugging. Adapt to squatting and lying down, because these 2 postures the game will also affect the size of the recoil. The colors here have been adapted and do not need to be modified. You only need to get the coordinate points of the squatting and lying down buttons. Secondary mirror adaptation, generally used by machine guns like Pinety and MG36, The button size also needs to be 150% or above. The code logic of P90 here is reversed. The code has been corrected when you download it. There are two more parameters. Please set them to true or false according to your needs. Okay, this chapter is over. In the next chapter, we will adapt to firearms.